everybody. Welcome to the first ever Manda Made edition here on YouTube. I'm coming to you live from my studio in Denver, Colorado, just outside Denver. It is very snowy here today. So I guess that means it's a sew day, right? I love this weather for sewing. It's kind of perfect. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for joining. This is a new thing for me, but essentially I wanted to share what I make for my personal self with this channel. For those of you who don't know, if you've been around the Sew Daily channel, you've seen me here talking with Meg a lot, maybe in the stitch lab, experimenting with something, messing something up. But for those of you who are new, I serve as the editor for Sew News magazine and also Creative Machine Embroidery magazine. I work as the co-host of the Sew and Tell podcast. So yeah, but I still have energy to sew for myself in the evenings and on the weekends, and I really love sewing garments, especially, for myself. I do it a lot. I've been sewing pretty steadily since I took this job. So about 5 years of solid garment sewing. And I share most of my makes at Pop of Neutral on Instagram. That is the joke. That is my would-be tagline for the podcast if we needed an official tagline. Hey Meg, thanks for joining. Because I definitely prefer to sew with neutrals. I'm not a big, bold color type of person. I like neutrals, things that I can mix and match in lots of different ways. I have a very practical approach to sewing. Excuse me. I sew a lot of basics, as I said, and I like to sew things multiple times. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm going to put a pattern together. I'm going to sew it 3 times and get the most out of it. So I've been sewing for about 5 years steadily, working on my wardrobe. Been sewing for a lot longer than that, but that's really what my focus has been most recently. And in 5 years, I've kind of got the basics covered. I don't really need a whole lot new added to my wardrobe, and I'm kind of adjusting to that. So now I'm definitely focusing more on quality over quantity and building in some special just because makes. So it's kind of a new world for me, but I'm happy to hop on here and share that with you. Planning to do it monthly. I'll share new me-mades. I'll share older me-mades that maybe I've kind of gotten newly excited about again, or I'm wearing them in different ways. And the occasional me-made that maybe I've updated or hacked or altered in some way to wear it again, and just have a little me-made celebration each month. It's kind of a good moment to look back to for myself and just kind of keep track of what I'm making. Hey Karen, thank you so much for joining. So let's get started. This first make, I'm going to cover kind of what I focused on for the back half of December and into January. And the first project I wanted to talk about is actually an old make. This is one of my first jackets that I made, and I have absolutely loved it. It's a Tamarack jacket, and that pattern is by Grain Line Studio, and they actually just released a hood pattern update for that and a collar, and I believe it has some patch pocket options. So I had my Tamarack jacket. I loved it. I've worn it for multiple years. I made it with repurposed fabric and some iCat scraps, neither of which I had any more of, but when the pattern expansion came out, I knew I had to make the hood for it. So I did. And here you are. You can see it. I really got creative and found an iCat in my stash that kind of mimicked the bias that I had used on the original project. And I've actually attached it with buttons. They're snaps, but they are, so the idea was that I could take it off if I decided that I didn't want to wear it anymore, but I've actually really loved having a hood on this jacket. I loved the jacket before. Like I said, I wore it all the time. But this was a fun little add-on, and it kind of gave it a little bit of a new life, and I was really excited to make that fun little exercise in quilting too. I don't know how you feel about quilted projects, but tackling a hood was a little bit easier than a full jacket. So definitely a fun little way to update that jacket for me, and I've been wearing it a whole bunch. Next up, I wanted to share some beanies that I created, and I used the basic beanie pattern on the SewDaily.com website. Beanies are something that I wear a lot of in Colorado. It's totally like a Colorado thing. That's the Colorado style, and I have so many beanies, but I always buy them when I see them and I like them, but I forget that you can make them. So I made two here. One was in this really amazing neon green sweater knit, totally inspired by my co-host Meg and her love for all things bright green. This is not on brand for me, but I've actually worn this one a lot. It's a nice lightweight beanie. And then I also made one in this pink velour, which is also kind of off-brand for me. I wasn't sure how the velour was going to work, and this one has just enough stretch. I also sized up a little bit so I could make that work. And it is definitely a lovely addition to my wardrobe for the winter, if my daughter doesn't steal it first. That may happen. Next up, and thanks, Meg. Yes, I love the shape of the hood. It's really nice on the Tamarack jacket. It's really nice and big. You could fit a hat underneath it. You can wrap a scarf around and then put the hood on. It's a really, really nice shape. I like a roomy hood. I've made a few things in the past where the hood is just a little bit too small for my liking, and it's just a non-starter for me. Next up was my Nico top, and I'm a really big fan of this pattern. I had made one without sleeves in a black rib knit, and I wore it pretty much all summer. It's kind of a little bit upscale. It's got a mock turtleneck, so there's something about that that's a little bit dressy. But I wanted to make a long sleeve one for forever. It was on my fall list. I didn't get to it. I finally made this up in late December, and I kind of haven't taken it off. It's a really great basic. When I wear it, though, I've worn it to the office when I needed to dress up, and it worked for that too. I love the silhouette. The sizing is perfect. I did a little 3/4 length sleeve on there, and this fabric has a little bit of a backstory. It's actually a rib knit from Walmart, and it is super durable fabric. I bought 3 yards at a time, and I've used this now for 3 projects, and it's really great durable fabric. And I got it, we went on a little trip to a small town in Colorado, and they didn't have a fabric store, but I was really needing a fabric souvenir, so we ran into Walmart for some things, and I was like, oh, well, here's my fabric souvenir, and I've really been impressed by the fabric. I'll also share that when I was taking some pictures for Instagram, I realized that with just 1 or 2 additional accessories that I almost was wearing the outfit of a famous person. I'll give you approximately 2 seconds to guess who. It's The Rock. There you go. That's for you. That's the best piece of content I've ever made for the internet. That is not my SpongeBob fanny pack. I had to borrow that from one of my sons, but just a moment to have a little fun and not take myself so seriously. But I really kind of love that outfit. I might have to repeat it. All right, next up, if you have been on my Instagram at all, you know that I've been on a bit of an athletic wear, athleisure journey. Over the pandemic, I definitely got a little bit more active, got more into exercise, and the one in particular if you listen to the podcast, I go on and on and on about roller skating. I love roller skating. But when I started, I really didn't have a whole lot of workout wear, and certainly not workout wear that really kind of reflected who I was. There's not as much neutral out there. Maybe there's just more jewel tones and everything else for active wear. So I've been on a journey, and it's been a little hard to find my style and to kind of translate my everyday style into athletic wear, but I feel like I'm finally getting my feet under me, and I made an accidental capsule. I fell in love with this fabric from Olga's Closet, and it's this checkerboard fabric. It's a French terry, but it's definitely a lightweight sweatshirt material. And I started off, I knew I wanted to make these Hudson pants by True Bias, and I actually used the high waist hack for that, which I've done a couple of times, and I really like that hack. There's a link, I'll share the link to that hack on the True Bias website, but it's a great hack. So I started with the pants, and then I made some biker shorts, which really wasn't the best fit for this fabric, but it is pretty stretchy. I think I'd probably size up a little bit next time. The biker shorts are a copycat version of some leggings that I own. And then I made a hemlock top with a kind of a contrast sleeve here, and I love this. I think this was the piece where I felt like this really feels like me, and yes, the print matching was was a challenge on these. I think I actually waited a little while before I made these, because after I got them, of course, I realized that I'd need to spend a little time on the print matching, better on the Hudson pants than the biker shorts. But yeah, the hemlock, I love this top. I've made it a bazillion times. It's a free pattern from Grainline. I actually added quite a bit of width to the top, to the bodice, so it would be kind of swingy and fun while I was working out. And then the contrast sleeve was just a last minute game time decision. I also made a bright pink workout top using some secondhand spandex poly blend, I believe, and this was totally off-brand for me, but this was another copycat. I found a shirt that I really liked, and I used that to copycat into this pattern. In general, I was thinking about this. I'm doing a lot more copycatting than I used to, and I feel like that's a way that a lot of people get into sewing. It's a really easy way to start. But I'm doing it more, and I don't know if I am just getting lazy or if I just find what I like and know that that's what I want to do and don't want to spend the time looking for the pattern. It might be a little bit of all of those things. If you hop over to my Pop of Neutral Instagram channel, you can see a really fun reel that I made for this little set. It was the first time I've ever been caught in the driveway by a delivery person taking silly pictures for Instagram. My neighbors, they've seen everything, but the delivery guy was new for me. I feel like it's a milestone. Let me know if that has happened to you and how you handled it. I handled it very awkwardly, which should come as no surprise. Finally, up in my January makes was something that I had been thinking about for a while. I got some fabric from Fancy Tiger Crafts here in Denver, and it is just this luscious Shetland speckle flannel from Robert Kaufman, and I had it on hand for a couple of months. I had wanted to make an oversized flannel shirt, just a regular button-up. But then as I thought about it more and more, of course, I became more and more precious about this fabric, because doesn't that happen to everyone? And I really decided that I wanted to have a garment that I could wear multiple ways. So that is kind of where I started with this. And sorry, my dog is joining me in the studio, as she always does. Violet is my assistant. So I decided that I wanted to make a shacket / shirt dress thing, and that turned into this lovely make right here. This is actually the Ilford jacket pattern by Friday Pattern Company, and I kind of did the opposite of what most people do when they make a shacket. They have a shirt and they turn it into more of a jacket, and this was actually a jacket that I turned into more of a shirt. I added the shirt tail hem here. I narrowed the sleeves just a bit, and I really love the result. I can show you another view here. This is just a close-up on this flannel. It is so lovely, perfect for hiding crumbs. It's, you know, it's subtle, but there's a little bit of interest, and the flannel is just so squishy and so comfy. And my idea is that I can wear this as a shirt dress, which I've worn, and it's also really comfy, open, like a jacket over jeans. So this is, again, like my total Colorado style. It's super comfortable. I don't know if it's actually chic, but I feel kind of chic and artsy when I wear it. So it's a win, and I love that pattern. I've made it 3 times. Once for myself and once for my husband, and now this time as kind of the shirt dress version. I had never really thought about a flannel shirt dress, but I'm kind of kicking myself for not thinking about it sooner, because it's really a versatile piece, and also, like I said, super comfortable, which is really my approach to sewing. So that's really what I've been up to. And thinking about what is next, I was looking through my Instagram feed as I prepped for this, and I have pretty consistently made jeans in January for every year. And I don't know if I'm going to make that this year, but I will. I'm going to think about it, because I need some new jeans. I don't know. Is it because January jeans both start with J? It's just always happened that way. And I might have to do it. So that's on my list as a maybe. I have got an Aster blouse hack over here. I love this pattern from Colette, but I usually only ever sew it as a hack. And I was thinking that this hack has kind of turned into a TNT for me, and I think that might be the first time that's happened. Quilted vest is a maybe. I love quilted jackets. I love that they are still hanging around as a trend. We've just had our Wyndham quilted bomber jacket sew along, which was another great take on that trend. But I'm kind of in the mood for a vest. I've seen some really good ready-to-wear options that I might use as inspiration, as a starting place. So quilted vest for sure. And then I have a skate event coming up. I haven't decided if I'm going to share my skate event costumes here or save those for Instagram. Let me know what you think. If you prefer pure garment sewing, that's fine. But I do like to have fun with my skate events and my skate costumes. So let me know. Let me know which you would prefer. That is a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what is helpful for you here, if you're looking for inspiration, if you prefer to have notes about fabric selection and fabric recommendation, anything at all. If you'd like more information about specific hacks that I've done, I'm happy to cover that here. So please do share your feedback and let me know what you'd like to see, what would be most helpful and most inspiring to you. Thank you again for joining. Until next time.